Hey everyone, welcome back to the World Crypto Network. We are streaming to you live from Santa Monica, California, here at the BlockCon event. We are at the Museum of Flying, so you should be able to see airplanes behind us. And we're also right next to the airport, so if you see, you may hear some random crazy sound. So we do have live viewers. Can you guys just double check how the volume is? Do you hear us okay?
Do you hear me okay?
Yeah, and you got Jimmy right here. We're gonna bring on more people in a few minutes. Let's just do a quick live sound check. Let's see if everything's good. I know there's like a little bit of a delay. So Jimmy, so you, man, this has been like a long event because you did a meetup the night before the event. You spoke yesterday. I will be speaking later today, and tomorrow I have my all-day seminar, and then I'm speaking at a meetup on Friday. So this is
and I have my seminar Thursday and Friday,
and you have
too.
your
So,
seminar
yeah.
on Thursday and Friday. Man,
Yeah.
this is going to be a long week.
Oh, it already has been. But, you know, I really enjoy these events because you get to meet people that, you know, you haven't been around in a long time. I mean, like, I've met Tone, obviously, like in person, but we haven't been on camera together like this in a long time. So
I know, I've been in Europe.
Yeah, and I don't get to be on Today in Bitcoin, you know?
We're going to bring on a bunch more guests. We're probably going to start right now. And we will talk about all the latest news that's going on and what we think about it. Apparently, Jimmy wrote an article. You good?
I don't know. It says somebody said I'm too soft, so I'm going to hold it like this.
All right.
Yeah.
No, just clip on. It should be fine.
All right. All right.
Yeah, there's no way. You have the primary mic.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Vortex is coming on in just a second. What was I saying?
You were talking about the BlockCon and all that.
After that. Oh, Jimmy's article. So apparently Jimmy wrote an article about Bitcoin Gold that is going viral, and I would like to talk to him about it because, as you guys know, I don't read. So I get my information directly from the sources through audio means. All right, so without further ado, hey, Vortex, come on in. We'll make room for you. Grab my mic. Me and Jimmy will share the other one. And tell us what you think of the conference so far, and then we're going to start bringing on guests and talking about all these topics.
All right, well, that sounds good, Tone. It's as you guys have said, it's been a very, very busy event. I don't even think that they estimated this kind of amount of people here because they were running out of food. They couldn't get people their tags, so it was actually pretty overblown. This is absolutely amazing seeing all these people here talking about Bitcoin and blockchain and stuff like that. So I'm having a good time so far. There's only a few speakers that I was really looking forward to talking about, like Vinny and you know, Jimmy, of course, and you know, even the people from Open Bazaar. That was great as well. So it's been a great conference so far, and I think they're gonna, if they do it again next year, it'll be an even bigger turnout.
All right, cool. All right, so who are we bringing on first here to talk about what's going on in the news, and not necessarily this conference, but whatever they like to talk about. If they dare to pitch their projects, because everyone here is pitching their projects, if they dare to come on camera and pitch their projects, they're gonna get some real questions. So who are we bringing on first?
Absolutely, Tone. You know that anybody's going to be scared when they're being interviewed by you if they're launching an ICO. I think that
half the people here don't know who I am, so they're welcome to come on and find out on live video.
All right, well, that sounds good, Tone. So first, I'd like to bring on Omar, better known as Crypto. You know, he's got his own podcast, and he's enjoying the conference as well. I want to hear a couple of his words, as well as what he thinks about maybe Jimmy's article about Bitcoin Gold. So let's go ahead and bring on Omar without further ado. How you doing, man? Come on in.
Man,
what's up, Omar? You guys share that mic. We'll share this one.
Excellent. Well, guys, so we all know ICO is a bad word these days. So I came on to talk about my IMO, my initial money offering, guys, for the crypto's news. I'm kidding. So it's so good to finally be on. I've been watching your show for such a long time, and like you mentioned, what's really amazing about these conferences is that you get to hang out with people that maybe you've respected or watched in the space. I have a good friend of mine that says, don't even watch the presentations. You're here to hang out and interact with people. And it didn't make sense to me with the first few conferences I went to, but now it's all about the interviews. I had Jimmy Song, I had you on yesterday. You talked a little bit about Bitcoin Gold yourself, and having listened to you, I'm a little bit more positive myself about heading into this fork on October 25th. But yeah. Again, and I love you. You're giving a trading seminar, which applies to anything in this space.
Oh man, it's
thanks, man.
Too. It's like 70
it's sold out.
All right.
Sold out.
So before we get to like the forks and stuff, question: why are you wearing a suit?
Oh, well, yesterday I came out really, really casual. So I thought, let me see how different people interact with me because I'm always doing social experiments in my mind.
He was wearing just
Yeah,
completely normal
that's-
clothes yesterday.
It was still purple though, wasn't it?
It was
You wore
purple. You
purple.
caught me. You caught me. Yeah.
No, Omar, why don't you? I don't know if you told people where what you do in the space and where you're from.
show,
Like, yeah, right.
yeah.
So go ahead, plug yourself a little bit now in the beginning.
Sure. So I've always been a Bitcoin fan myself. I started using it in 2013, mostly for transactions, and I thought this is really, really slow. When I had to wait 45 minutes for a confirmation.
Oh, come on, it was never that bad.
Well, I was trying to buy a supplement, and I was having a minor panic attack because it said you have 45 minutes to complete this payment. I thought I sent it. I can't get a refund on the blockchain, and I have 15 minutes to complete. Then finally the check mark came out. So I was like, okay, great. But how will this ever be used in supermarkets? You know, I didn't understand it at first. But in 2015, I started trading stocks. I started learning about what's going to move us into the Internet of Things and that technological future. And I thought about the money supply, the way that the world economy is, and how we could very much be leading into a big disaster scenario, and Bitcoin could protect us with a deflationary currency because we have increasing demand and either stable or increasing demand and limited supply. And so Bitcoin has always been really, really exciting to me before I became interested in other things like Ethereum as well. So I do a daily cryptos news channel where I try to cover everything very objectively. I don't take a side. I try to look at what you guys do to understand the Bitcoin side of it. And then there's the RBTC on Reddit crowd, which is more the Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Unlimited, Bitcoin Classic side. And I try.
Are you in those circles?
I look at all the circles. So I try to be in every circle. I don't think it's up to me to decide what people do with their cash. So I try to be in every circle. And
what do you think of that community?
What do I think about the community? I wish. Okay, so the Bitcoin community, that's a good question, is supposedly heavily moderated, but I actually enjoy visiting the Bitcoin subreddit because I know I can find content that's important right now to Bitcoin specifically, because I feel like the RBTC crowd doesn't necessarily do Bitcoin news half the time. It could be Bitcoin Cash, and now it's become, so it's hard to find Bitcoin specific news.
All right, so if you follow those circles more than us, so you've seen the transition from Bitcoin XT to Bitcoin Classic to Bitcoin Unlimited, and to heavy preaching of Bcash. Have you already noticed some of the Bcash fanatics moving over and supporting the upcoming 2X as if they have like their alliances are very fluid, as long as it's not Bitcoin and Core?
That's such a great question. And actually, in the last week, I feel like things have changed. I actually covered this in a video, whereas we found that SegWit 2X might not be the best thing for the community because it is possibly a corporate takeover of Bitcoin. Nobody wants Bitcoin to be decentralized. You don't want it. I don't want it. We want it to be in the hands of as many people as possible, which is why you emphasize having smaller blocks, smaller nodes, for example, in order to make sure that everybody can run a node who wants to run a node. So actually, I find that we're both agreeing that SegWit 2X might not be the best route right now. That's where we stand after an interesting...
Well, what do you mean by both?
Well,
like when you said we both, like who's both? Who are you talking about specifically?
That's a great question. The Bitcoin side, which is the Blockstream core side with the developers I referred to.
Right. And they're mostly against the non-replay protection part. I mean, it feels like Core doesn't care anymore about hard forks as long as there's replay protection.
They have done research, though. Right. They do have all the hard fork research, so they do care about it like that. But I don't think that they actually care too much about what people are talking about and what people are saying as far as what is Core going to do with the fork? What is Core going to do with this? They're going to do whatever they believe is going to make the chain survive. And whether that's political or not, at this point, they don't work on politics. They work on code. They work on logic. They want to make sure that this is up at almost 100%, like it has been for the past 9 years.
All right. So let's get back to that. So we're talking about both. So Core, in my opinion, Core doesn't care as long as there's replay protection. Because there isn't replay protection, Core is upset, and now Core has to program around it, and that means Garzik is coding around what Core is programming, and now Core needs to waste time coding around Garzik's scheming. And
it's a cat and mouse game, yeah.
And I'm finding it frustrating because those same people that are making Core do this are bitching and complaining, why is Core so slow and giving us Lightning Network?
There are a lot of people that continue to go. I hear about that. Let me comment on that real quick, Tone.
Yeah.
I hear about this at the conference, and a lot of people are actually saying that, look, Lightning is taking too long. We just don't have time for that. And it just baffles me when the space is so new. There's so many things to explore and so much to do, and the people are saying that, you know, Lightning is taking too long when we already are having successful things like, for example, with Charlie Lee and doing atomic transactions between Bitcoin and Litecoin. You know, Lightning is going to be here. It's going to be here really soon. We're talking like a couple of years. This is not 5 years out. This is not.
Yeah, why are we in such a hurry anyway? There's no like demand for super Lightning transactions at the scale right now.
See, that's the thing. That's since you asked what the other side believes that you don't follow. They actually, well, that's the big thing. They don't want to see the Lightning Network necessarily happen because there are concerns that it might be too complex a system. It'll create a fee market that never existed before. So it would be a test to see how Bitcoin can survive that angle. I'm just trying to objectively watch. I think it'll be interesting in a free market to see which one does win out. That's what I stand behind.
Absolutely.
I hold both. I haven't sold any Bitcoin Cash. In fact, I bought some myself just to be forthcoming.
You know how far it's been falling over the last couple of weeks, right?
I know.
How does that make you feel?
Actually, I'm now at a loss there.
Are you losing confidence in it, or are you not?
I'm personally holding until November because regardless of what we believe, there might be other outside forces that could force things to head either way. So Bitcoin Cash could soar. I don't know what's going to happen. After November, I'll weigh things and I'll decide whether it's worth holding on to.
Yeah, the other thing that I wanted to ask about with respect to RBTC is there's this weird relationship it seems to have with Dr. Craig Wright.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like really at a loss as to why so many people are aligning with him, given his obviously scammy history. And why are so many people aligning with him, like despite the fact that he's obviously not Satoshi and he keeps claiming to be?
Yes, I agree with you there. You know, when it first came out that he was Satoshi and I watched his video, I'm pretty good at reading people, and I thought this guy's the biggest scammer in history. He's a liar, and I can't follow him. So it's been hard for me personally to necessarily believe everything he says. But when I've looked at some of his recent videos and presentations, some of them have been very convincing as far as an argument for what could happen to Bitcoin moving forward. Regardless of his ethos, if you look at his arguments, some of them are rational. I don't know specifically why they revere him, Dr. Craig Wright, but I agree with you. You have to weigh everything. I don't think it's about him in particular. It's his arguments that are pretty smart.
Especially when you know, you have Craig Wright standing up in front of signs that say Bitcoin Cash, and these signs actually say that Bitcoin Cash has more developers, it has more value. You know, this is the upgrade to Bitcoin. It's really confusing how people can support Bitcoin Cash and not support Craig Wright. It's like if you support Bitcoin Cash, you're more than likely supporting Craig Wright because this is what this guy is pushing. And
you know, Bitcoin Cash is fighting an uphill battle now. I wasn't sure at first, but the reality is Bitcoin does have that network effect. It's going to be very difficult to get that going with Bitcoin Cash. It's already a separate chain, which is, and I know you guys have said this, it's respectable that they did replay attack protection, that they went their own way. So I don't think there necessarily has to be fighting in between. We just get to watch the free market now. And that's where I stand. And
it's interesting, and this is at the heart of the 2x hard fork and why they refuse to put in you know, strong replay protection, is that because Bitcoin Cash added strong replay protection, they cut off the rest of the community, rest of the ecosystem, because none of the wallets were compatible with it. That's kind of why the 2x people are refusing to put in the strong replay protection,
because they want that to be the big
and that's and they're fighting for it, which, and I kind of want that to happen so that we can figure it out.
You know, we all knew this was going to happen at the New York Agreement. SegWit was going to pass, which we all kind of wanted at that point, regardless, right? And then the hard fork was going to be contentious. So this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. I think what's going to be interesting is obviously the weeks leading up to it and what happens afterwards. And we're going to be into a brand new frontier when it comes to Bitcoin. I'm really excited. I've been part of Bitcoin like before Ethereum was a thing, like I said. So I was following Bitcoin Classic. I thought back then that having a bigger blocks was the solution. I'm just about pushing technology forward. Yeah, I don't care about the timeline. As long as Lightning Network comes out, you reviewed the code, it works, it's not creating centralization in any sort of way, I'd be very, very happy. Like whitelisting, that would be a concern of mine, right? So
that's a no-no. I mean, when you're trying to when you add blacklisting into any type of coin like that, then it's a slippery slope.
So I have my own Lightning Network that I run, whatever, at my own hub for fees, and I'm onboarding users, and I decide that you cannot necessarily be part of my system because I blacklisted your address because the government decided that you were selling stuff on, I don't know, Dream Network or Hansa Bay or whatever it's called. So that would be a future I wouldn't want to see. I would like everybody to be able to participate. So if it can happen in a decentralized way, I'm all about it.
Well, let's switch topics for a second. What's your current relationship with CoinDesk?
Oh, is it strained?
I know.
You know, it's okay. So I did a conference. I went to a conference, Consensus 2017, hosted by them, which is owned by Digital Currency Group, Barry Silbert. Apparently, these guys are some of the guys trying to take over Bitcoin, and really the corporate people behind Bitcoin pulling the strings in certain angles. So it's interesting to me that we're all about fighting for a decentralized future, a new monetary system that's freer. And then I got attacked on YouTube for live streaming an event when, on their terms and conditions, their privacy policies, their event policies, nothing said I couldn't live stream. Their stream was down. It was a NASDAQ stream, was down. So I covered it, and then they
I didn't even know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, they put. Well, it wasn't at the time. So.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but that's great that you were there to cover it, though.
Yeah, I was trying to. It was great. I had a lot of people on. I had 600 people watching live, 620 people. You don't make that much money on YouTube. You guys know that. So it was.
Yeah, our audience seems to think that we do, and but no, you don't make a lot of money streaming YouTube.
Maybe when we get into the millions of views,
right?
Maybe you guys can help us out with that. But until
there aren't even millions in Bitcoin yet. Wait till that. You won't even need your channel.
Yeah. So go ahead. So say what happened next.
So I was getting the flight back here to LA, which got delayed. My phone died, and I was in the process of trying to take down the videos after I got an email telling me to cease and desist, take down every video. So I was like, okay, as soon as I get Wi-Fi, I'll be able to do it. By the time I got back to LA and I checked my email, they had filed 2 copyright infringements through YouTube. And yeah, because I guess I wasn't quick enough in those 18 hours. And I wasn't able to live streams, which took away a lot of my...
Yeah, so you were banned by YouTube from live streaming for how many months?
3 months.
3 months.
What?
Yeah.
All right,
So
YouTube, you need to fix this. Man. You need to fix this. That's come on, man.
I even tried to file an appeal and it didn't work out.
Especially
They have
you
to
all that
basically.
previous content.
Yeah, they
All
have
right,
to.
anyone that works at Google that can help us out.
No, he's good now. This was at the
Okay.
Consensus.
I'm now good. We're back.
Yeah. So
Recently.
so what's your relationship with them now? Are you ever gonna attend their conferences? I mean, it's crazy. I know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
You know what? You have to look at the bigger picture here. So I'm not looking at this from my own angle. I was frustrated. Said I'm not going to pay their $2,000 next year again to attend.
Go to the parties.
But you know what? I will, because I'm there. I'm here for the viewers. So I'll be doing interviews there. Hopefully I can run into you guys. I saw Vays there actually last year. This year, damn, time flies.
I know.
And yeah,
That was 5 months ago.
Yeah.
That's 5 months ago.
Yeah. I feel like we all age
That's
so
the
much
Bitcoin
quicker.
space, man. That's the Bitcoin space. Everything moves light speed.
Yeah, it's exponential, almost like.
Yeah, I lost half my hair since that time.
Yeah. That's funny. So yeah, so I'll be there and I'll be learning as always to give people the best information and learning from you guys as well. I'll definitely be sending people your way to learn from you about. You know, we need to look at all angles.
All right, Omar. Well, thanks a lot. Tell the people one more time where they can find you, and we'll let you go.
Sure, I go by Crypto on YouTube, so you can just go CRYPT0. That's my channel, and you can find us. We've grown to 53,600 subscribers. We're one of the biggest, and we do daily, honest cryptocurrency information. I don't take money from ICOs like a lot of these other YouTubers do. I did it in the past, and I didn't like how it felt like a job at that point.
I was actually going to ask you that question, but we were running long.
Yeah, and most people assume I do. I don't take money from anybody except for Crypto Hardware Wallet, which you'll see an ad for in the beginning of every single video, so that should be pretty obvious.
Oh, Crypto HW Wallet. They're sponsoring here as well. No, they sponsored some of our stuff.
Exactly.
No.
And it's
yeah.
a good thing, right?
They're great.
Money. So get yourself a hardware wallet. I just met somebody who lost their private key after he got robbed in Brazil, $50,000 because he didn't have a hardware wallet. So guys, take care of your security. Please. You learn one thing.
Buy a Trezor, buy a Ledger, buy a hardware wallet.
Keep key, whatever you guys want. Absolutely. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for having me on.
I know. Thanks, Omar.
Thanks, Omar.
Have a good one, man.
Good stuff. All right, who do you got next?
So you want to grab us someone to interview?
I gotta find somebody, I guess.
All right, so we can get Anders for a few minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, after that, we're gonna send Vortex out to like find us people while Jimmy and I talk. Like each time, when he's on a hunt for someone interesting for us to talk to, we'll be talking about like scaling and hard forks.
Yeah, we'll be on. I
see someone with a pink bull on their shirt, so you know what that means.
No. Go get go get one of the pink coins.
After Anders, we'll get one of the pink coin guys and deal with this.
Bitcoin Gold a little bit first.
Let's introduce Anders, and then we'll get to Bitcoin Gold as well.
Yeah, we'll do that while you go and hunt for people.
Damn
it, Jimmy. No,
he'll be here for the Bitcoin Gold one.
All right. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Sure. My name is Anders. I'm pretty passionate about Bitcoin. For a living, I do online marketing. I put companies on the first page of Google through Google AdWords. And I run a Bitcoin meetup in Century City in Los Angeles, where we had Jimmy Song on Monday and we had Vays Friday night.
Yeah, it was I just wanted to thank you. Like I didn't like that space was like the nicest space, right? Like there was like stadium seating and leather seats and all this stuff. And like I had this like giant screen behind me and like he gave me some champagne afterwards and you know,
that sounds
like,
awesome.
Yeah, no,
you had a good
great.
time at the meetup?
Oh, totally. And everyone was so friendly, so nice, and you know, they asked very intelligent questions. You know, just a great time. And
I thank you.
Right, so
thank you.
So that same night, this was 2 nights ago. So while Jimmy was at that meetup with amazing, you know, movie theaters, stadium seating, having a great time, I was right here behind me at the speaker dinner where I did see Jimmy for about 5 minutes eating all the food before everybody else because because he had to run to the meetup. So and I was there for the speakers dinner, and then all of the speakers and sponsors got up and said a little bit about themselves and their project. I mean, I stood up as well, and I talked a little bit, just very short about what I do and the YouTube channel. But other speakers and like those that are running projects stood up. And one person stood up and talked about his ICO to decentralize 911 emergency response. And when I heard that, I was like, I haven't slept for like almost 24 hours coming in from Europe, going straight to dinner. And I remember thinking to myself, now I've heard it all. I don't know if another ICO can possibly surprise me than an ICO token to decentralize 911 emergency responses.
They can always come up with something, Tone. They continue to do. They continue to do it.
Yeah, but anyway, Tone is going to speak on Friday. If you're in the LA, Santa Monica, you know, Century City area, please show up. You know, Anders was kind enough to like sort of pay out of pocket to get the venue. That's why it costs a little bit of money to attend. But it's great. It's a good time, and it's, you know, Tone is worth the money. Let's just say that.
Absolutely, and I wish I could come to your meetup as well. I mean, I know you invited me, and I got to leave by Friday. I didn't even know that it was on Friday, but I tell you, next time, from what Jimmy says, all those, yeah, it sounds like a great time. So I will very much try to attend that next time I'm here in California. And just thanks so much for hosting, Jimmy, man. You do awesome and amazing work with that meetup.
Well, I love what you guys do, so I appreciate very much all the content you produce and for coming to the meetup and doing a presentation.
Oh, before we let you go, any general opinions on the upcoming forks or fork? I don't know. I don't know how important Gold is going to be. So I don't know if it's a fork or forks at this point.
So as long as they have the protection against replay, why not just bring it on? It's not going to take Bitcoin down. It's going to be a crypto dividend, I guess. And rather that than other ICOs that put 911 on the blockchain. So it's a way for traditional Bitcoin holders to gain free money, and anything that doesn't kill Bitcoin, it just makes it stronger.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
Cool. So, Anders, tell people where they can find you if they're out in California. You're more of a local.
Yeah.
You run a local scene, so they're not going to be able to get you on
if
the web.
Like a blockchain, Bitcoin sort of startup, sponsor this man, please. Like his meetup, please.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I'm looking for anyone who want to talk about Bitcoin, not about their ICO, but anyone who can talk about Bitcoin. Would love to have them come to our meetup. As Jimmy was saying, it's an actual cinema, so it's really nice seating. You get the big screen from a cinema screen to plug your computer into. People can find me on Twitter as Anders Kagat. You probably can't spell that, but anyway, and we're in Century City with the meetup.
Great.
All right,
Thank you very much. Thanks so much, man.
Century City Bitcoin meetup out in California. So go ahead and Google that.
Check it out, guys.
Thanks.
All right, so let's talk about Gold. Oh, wait, is it Gold?
It's
Bitcoin Gold.
Yeah, it's Bitcoin Gold.
Bitcoin Gold.
Tone can't keep up. But Jimmy wrote an awesome article that really just continues to come across my Twitter sphere. Like, I don't know how many times. I think this is probably a record by the amount of times I've seen the same tweet come across my Twitter sphere, Jimmy. So, you know, I know the audience is curious. I mean, we got the futures markets for the 2X right now. So we actually have some pricing on the 2X, but Bitcoin Gold is going to come before that. And I'm very sure that everybody is wondering a little bit more about it. And in your article, you covered so much detail. Maybe you could just go over the general of what your article was about with Bitcoin Gold and why people should care.
Yeah, so I did some research. I've been on their Slack. I talked to some of the developers there, and I got some information from other sources, including their GitHub. But yeah, it was announced on Bitcoin Talk, you know, like July 20 something, and they've been working on it for a while. It's funny because Bitcoin Gold, their post on Bitcoin Talk, like one of the first posts was, "Hey, any developers interested in working on this?" So they didn't really necessarily have the like a plan, like it's just sort of been in the works. They obviously have a lot of stuff going on. They're switching to Equihash. That's going to be the major thing. They're going to fork on October 25th, but they're not actually releasing, or they're not actually going to build on it for public consumption until like sometime in November. There's also like a 1 month. Sorry, there's a plane in the background.
Yeah, there is a plane. Just 1 second.
Oh yeah. So we'll be okay.
Well, we're annoyed, but
yeah. But anyway,
sorry, guys.
So there's going to be you know, an Equihash. It's meant to be GPU and CPU mined. So that's going to be something that's going to be you know, just sort of like an altcoin launch with a very fair distribution. So that's the main thing that's gonna that looks to be happening.
Very interesting.
All right, guys, we're gonna do a quick commentary. All right, so I don't know how much of that you heard, Jimmy, but right. So, okay, so quick advice: be very, very careful who you give your money to, because when you hear about these crypto hedge funds, I gotta walk away. I gotta I'm trying not to burst out laughing, guys. I'm sorry, but look. On a serious note, when you hear about these crypto hedge funds and all these amazing traders, these are their project managers that are working there. Enough said. Let's bring on our next guest.
Let's go ahead.
All right. So
what do we got?
I hate to be an instigator here, but
come on, Jimmy. That's what you do with your articles, man. Come on.
But Danny here is here from Bitcoin. He and Tone kind of had a little bit of a spat on Twitter earlier this week.
Just a little bit, and my name was tagged on it, so I saw the whole thing.
Yeah. But
endless.
So I wanted to have you guys on video. There was some sort of, well, I guess I'm involved too, because I originally had Danny on. He was on my show along with Coin Artist, who's also here but not here at the moment. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to see what would happen by bringing these two on air at the same time.
It should be pretty
good.
good.
You know, sort of like poke it and see what happens. You know, do something.
Well, before we start that, let's just thank our what do we got? 620 live viewers for joining. Thanks, guys, so much for the tips.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much for being in the chat. The chat's kind of flying by. Thanks so much for the thumbs up. We're really having a good time out here in BlockCon 2017. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this.
Yeah. So Tone, you want to talk about what happened?
Tone's busy telling the troll box what's up.
No, not in the troll box.
Oh, really? Okay.
Actually, I'm not sure.
Okay, good.
All right. So yeah.
All right. Wait, someone's got a. What am I commenting on?
I'm holding the mic.
Danny. This was on Twitter.
Yeah. This was on Twitter, I believe.
Wait, but I don't remember I don't remember. But what is your Twitter account though?
It's the Bitcoin account, man.
Well, it's a big right. So that means I didn't know which person I was with, right? Because obviously, right? Okay, right. I was right because well, there's a big difference.
There's a face behind the name. So
No. Okay. So there's a big difference, right? Because if a Bitcoin Twitter account attacked me, or if I attacked a Bitcoin Twitter account, there wouldn't be a person sitting in that chair defending a Bitcoin Twitter account. So right. So if I'm okay, so you are a cryptocurrency.
Yes, Bitcoin is
okay.
A cryptocurrency.
So, but you're a cryptocurrency with a face and a name, and there was a lot of people here.
Yeah, we roll pretty deep, man. We got like 10 or 12 of us here.
And
I see those shirts everywhere, man.
They're pretty awesome, right? Like, come on. How can you not spot this
so
crowd?
how are you able to have 12 people here? I don't know if the project itself paid everybody to be here. You guys have gear, and you guys are sponsoring the conference.
We have a booth here, yes. And
Right. And how are you doing that? Is everyone like chipping in? Is it
one of these bad boys, like pull it out of your wallet, like here's some cash, like we pay for it ourselves. All of this is bootstrap funding.
So everyone here is like bootstrapped, they're all financing themselves to come here and support the project.
Sir. We're passionate about the project, so we're trying to elevate it in any way we can. If that means spending our own money to do so, that's what we got to do. That's
what
so similar to crowdfunding, then, is what you're saying. That's the money that, or the system that
we're dev funding. The devs are funding all of everything.
The dev funding. Okay.
We bought into this coin on the market just like everyone else. There was no ICO. There was no pre-mine. In order to get a sweat at all, we had to buy it off the market. So we own some. We're obviously incentivized to contribute to the project because as we contribute, the project value grows, which grows our holdings. Like, and then we fund cool projects that we think will have an impact.
Okay, so tell us more about the coin. How did it start? How long has it been around? And what are the general technicals of the coin?
Okay, so we're I guess considered like super OG in this space. We've been around since May 2014.
May 2014.
May of 2014. We've been on Bittrex and Poloniex the entire time. We're on Cryptopia. We have a growing community of 2,500 people in Slack that are helping to contribute in any way they can. We are a triple hybrid proof of work, proof of stake, and something we implemented called Flash Proof of Stake. And we are trying to incentivize philanthropy and gamifying the proof of stake process to make it a competition so that it's not a solved problem. So everyone's trying to experiment with how they can get the most rewards, which incentivizes themselves, but also we give them an easy way to reallocate some of those staking rewards to help causes, charities, and schools that we're working with.
How much of the coin is proof of work versus proof of stake? Today and in the early days? Like, what was the transition? Did you start out as 100% proof of work and then migrate into proof of stake? Or was it always the same way?
Okay, so it's awkward. Here, so initially, we've been around 3+ years in this space as a lifetime, right? So we initially were 1% proof of stake rewards. There was a small proof of work period in the beginning on the X11 algorithm. We were one of the first X11 coins. Then we transitioned to 100% proof of stake. And with that, as being one of the first in the space, we had to learn as we went. We experienced what it was like to have 30-second block times with 1% interest or proof of stake transactions and the bloat that came with that on the network and the blockchain. So there was a lot of things that went wrong. And actually, earlier this year, our network became so bloated with the orphan transactions from these quick block times that we had to convert and do a coin swap. We had to change blockchains. We started from scratch, built a new blockchain. Our wallet dev right there is Jeremy Redinger. He took this project on. And we swapped from the old pink coin to the new pink coin to alleviate all that bloat and start from scratch because we learned a lot of lessons. And we wanted to fix those, address that, and really restructure how the proof of stake system works in order to gamify it and get people interested for self-interest so they can make money, but also so they can help our charitable partners earn some money too.
So you went from 99% proof of work and you slowly migrated into 100% proof of stake.
It wasn't even slow. It was so with 2014, you were around. I don't know if you were paying attention to altcoins or just wrote them off.
I actually was. Back then I was paying attention to altcoins, but I never heard of that one.
Yeah, so I think a lot of projects back then were all about like distributing the coin as fast as possible. So it's like 7 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month at most was the proof of work period, right? And then they transitioned to full 100% proof of stake. So
well, right, but you know why they did that, right?
Why'd they do that?
Well, so that because all of the people that were mining that coin before anyone has heard of that coin, and then you go to proof of stake to perpetually get richer as an early miner.
Sure, that may be the motivation behind some projects. It's a valid point. But so to get back to the question, I guess, yeah, we transitioned to proof of stake, 100% proof of stake, and then we realized that there's a lot of dependencies upon the stakers, and relying solely on stakers to move the blockchain becomes a real issue. So we converted to when we did a coin swap to proof of work, proof of stake, so that.
All right. Well, let's talk about the coin swap. I don't understand what that is.
So as I said, our blockchain was bloated, almost unusable, and Ethereum is kind of experiencing this now. The blockchain gets big. If you have a lot of transactions in your wallet, which proof of stake does, if you're getting staking rewards every 30 seconds of block time, you get hundreds of staking reward transactions a day. Your wallet becomes unusable at a certain point.
So you basically took the UTXO set and started a new chain. Is that what you did?
Is that a correct assumption? Yes, that's a correct assumption.
Okay, all right. So and that way you threw away the entire history of Pincoin from before then.
It's an archive.
Okay, but so it exists somewhere, but not everyone has to download it.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. So got that.
So we did a 1-for-1 coin swap. If you had old Pincoin, you could send them. Well, the exchanges did it themselves. Bittrex and Polo and Cryptopia just took whatever Pink one there was and replaced it with Pink 2. We sent it to them. They burned the coins. And for individuals, we set up a swap site, and people started swapping automatically. And
this doesn't feel very decentralized.
Oh.
Okay.
I think that's a fair statement.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Are there plans for decentralization? I guess is
yeah, of course.
Okay, what are they?
In what aspect? Like, can I get a more specific decentralization?
Well, so you guys are basically the only ones that do Pincoin, right? Like development, I imagine, and and you decide on when the hard forks happen, when you would switch chains or whatever.
Yep.
When is any of that ever going to change? Or
yes, definitely. So as a part of our Donate for Life platform website, donate.with.pink, we are partnering with charities and organizations and education funds to give residual income to these partners. And as a part of that, like right now, decentralization involved, we are deciding what projects we're working with. That's got to change. So we realize that we need to implement some sort of voting protocol to give everyone a fair chance to get their project on our Donate for Life platform. And so along with that, if we're implementing voting protocol within our blockchain, like we're going to expand that beyond just this voting mechanism for getting projects on our platform.
I see. So eventually you'll have some sort of like
for sure
development that's decentralized as well. Okay,
sure.
Interesting.
And anybody can contribute. Like, we're not the only ones pushing out stuff for Pincoin. Like, people in our community are all the time coming up with cool projects and just pushing out there. Like,
wait. So can we back up? Okay, go ahead.
How long has this version of Pincoin existed? The current version.
So the current blockchain swapped March 24th, I believe, of this year. Yes.
So like you said about, the blockchain got bloated, the proof of work blockchain got bloated, or the proof of stake?
Proof of stake.
So you went to a different proof of stake model from a proof of stake model?
Yes, and proof of work to script.
Don't laugh, Jimmy.
Sorry. So your proof of stake, I'm trying to understand it. So your proof of
trying to sniff out
it's just like layers of complexity. So your proof of stake blockchain got too bloated, so you went to a different kind of proof of stake. To prevent it from happening again.
What was the main difference between the new proof of stake versus the old proof of stake?
So old proof of stake was 1% and their block times were 30 seconds. With that became a lot of orphans, a lot of transactions in the wallet.
What's the new one?
So the new one is, so it was X11 algorithm, now we're script. The new proof of stake model is not a fixed percentage based on your coin holdings. It's a fixed reward per block. So we have two different.
Did you increase the time of the block?
Yeah, so
from 30 seconds to what?
So there's every 2 minutes there's a proof of work block, 50 coin rewards. Every 6 minutes there's a proof of stake block with 100 coin rewards. And then for 4 1-hour periods throughout the day that are peak times globally, we have what we call a flash proof of stake, which has 1 minute block times and rewards 150 coins per block. And so it alleviates network congestion during those peak times.
What made you think that was the most optimized way? Because that does seem amazingly, insanely complex compared to your average coin that's either proof of work, proof of stake, a single algorithm. Doing these multiple algorithms, like, did you do testing to come up with it? How did you figure out that was going to be the optimization given its complexity?
Well, we have a great development team, and they definitely put in the work, thought experiments, did testing on the blockchain, testing that we had it done for months before we even rolled it out. Like, this was a tried and tested project, and I mean, like anything in this space, right? It's all a social experiment. You're all trying to figure out what's best, what's optimal. People have their ideas, and we had our idea of what was a way to incentivize people to be involved and incentivize people to contribute. And it's
fair enough. But how are you going to decide on these things in the future? Like how like if Is it just you, Danny? Like,
No,
I mean,
not just me.
but I assume it's mostly your team. So like, how would the community get involved in that? Like, I think that's the aspect of decentralization. I think that we're most interested in.
Yeah, that's a legitimate question and concern. So as we're growing, we want to become more decentralized and give everyone an opportunity to vote on things and contribute in their own way. But for right now, because we're a growing project that starts small, how else are we going to get things done if we're not making the decisions and pushing them forward? So there has to be some sort of centralization to move the project along, so there's not just chaos, right? So in that regard, we're controlling the flow of where the projects are going. Obviously, we're controlling the funding because we're funding all the projects ourselves.
How much money have you put into it?
I couldn't even tell you between all of us, but
well, I saw the page.
Sizable.
I saw the page that says there were hundreds of millions of donations, or is that?
There's about 16 million worth of pink coin that's sitting in our Donate for Life pool that is used to stake. Their principal balance is forever locked. It's a one-way wallet address, so they can only receive transactions. They can forward their staking rewards to whitelisted addresses that are of the organizations we're working with. So that pool of coins, the Donate for Life pool, just sits there generating weight and staking. So those coins are then forwarded.
So that's 16 million. Then how much has gone into the project so far?
What do you mean?
As far as the investment?
That's an uncalculable number.
Uncalculable, okay.
It's been around for 3 years. We've all bought in. We put in. We're not very good at taking account of like, okay, I just tipped this guy 50,000 pink coin because he made this sweet blockchain for us, or like there was a sweet meme. Let's give this guy 3,000 coins to like show our appreciation. We're just out here kind of spending and trying to help distribute these coins and get people involved, give them a little sweat, get to know our project, and then soon enough they become contributors. They see, oh, these guys are really generous. I like that I got some coins for them. Let me take a look at this project again. Like, so we're not taking account of everything we're spending. So I can't tell you that number.
That sounds just a little bit scary as far as not keeping account of what you're actually putting into the project.
We're individuals, man. We're not.
Hey, I'm all for it. The community. This is where we are on the cusp of this global financial renaissance. So this is still great to see everybody experimenting, and even with something with all of that complexity of all of those 3 different things, I'm not sure that's gonna work out very well for you guys. But the experimentation needs to happen. So I'm glad that somebody's.
We're willing to pioneer and take the bumps and bruises that come with being the first to do it. So I mean.
It does sound like you have a centralized system right now, but you are going on your path to a decentralized system. Yeah. I mean, the question for me for Tone is, do you still think it's a scam?
Yeah. Well,
look, it's gonna hard.
I never. All right.
That's what you really think. So,
don't hold back because I'm here, man.
What were you doing before you launched this project?
So I was a professional poker player for a decade. I was living in Hawaii. Traveling the world playing poker.
So what is your expertise at making blockchains?
Well, I don't make the blockchain, man. I leave that to the people who are good at it. So,
but you're leading the project.
I'm the face, I guess, to the project for a lot of people, but I'm not the project.
You're also the wallet, I think. Yeah,
I may be some of that.
Right, but you're the face of a blockchain project, but without any blockchain expertise.
I wouldn't say I don't have any blockchain expertise. I'm not a developer like the two of you great minds are. I'm
well, not even a developer, right? Like when did you get into Bitcoin?
I got into Bitcoin in 2013.
2013, and in 2014 you decided that Bitcoin was no good and you had to launch a better coin.
Bitcoin was no good. Didn't decide that at all.
Okay, go on. So why couldn't you do everything you do? Why couldn't you do everything you're doing now in helping charities by utilizing Bitcoin?
Yo, could you really realistically be having microtransactions of 18 cents on the Bitcoin blockchain that's a steady stream to your charitable causes every couple minutes and not just
why do you need to send?
Is that realistic?
But why do you need to send microtransactions every 18 minutes to charities?
But it's nice to have a consistent flow of.
Why can't you just give them $5 once a week?
You could, and you're more than welcome to do that.
Right, but where is
there only one way to do something?
But where is the? Well, so you decided that like $5 every week is too slow, and fine, you're a team that wears pink. A bunch of people decided or thought of, you know what the problem with charities is? People donating once a week is the problem. People need to donate every 18 seconds
Oh my
to
God.
solve the world's problems.
You said it, not me, man.
Apparently, this is what I'm getting out of this, right? All right, so let's. Okay, so I got that one. Okay, so let's jump to another one. So, why do you feel that creating? So, what is Bitcoin? Is it a currency? Is it what is it?
It's a platform. It's a platform.
The token. What is it?
It's not a token, first of all. It's not an ERC20 Ethereum token. It's definitely its own blockchain. So we like to
All right.
refer to it as a coin.
So what do you call pink coin has a value? What's the value of one pink coin?
Anybody know? Like 2 cents? 2 cents.
2 cents.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how many pink coins are in circulation?
380 million.
380 million or about. All right. So 2 cents each. Okay. So
7.6 million. Jimmy.
So do you consider pink coin a currency?
I mean, it has that ability. It's traded on exchange, and you have to consider that, right? I mean, it's not like the forefront of my mind when I'm thinking.
Well, I mean, you're promoting pink coin. I'm asking you what it is. So I would like to get some kind of a definite answer so I can ask the following question. Like for example,
am I qualified to answer that following question?
I'm not sure. Okay, so look,
like, how can I get this
look.
guy?
Okay, so for me, I call Bitcoin decentralized value transfer.
Sure.
If somebody wants to call it a currency, I would say fine. It acts as a currency, but it's not created by a government. So it can be used as a currency, and it's almost always used as a currency or a store of value.
Yep.
Okay. Now, is pink coin used in the same exact way as Bitcoin?
It has some properties that are very similar to what you're describing.
Okay.
But that's not its exclusive use case. That's
Right.
that would be
So-
the tip of the iceberg kind of thing.
So why do you think that you need a currency specifically designed for charitable contributions as opposed to people donating in currencies that they're more familiar with and already have?
Because why not? Like there's nothing that exists in the blockchain that helps give back to social good and social impact projects with that as their main focus and use case. Like everyone wants to get rich quick in this space, but nobody wants to give it back. So if it's not available, you have to create it. Bitcoin's great.
So okay, so let me ask you this question. I know you guys want, and I'm calling you guys because there is I see pink coin as a centralized coin, but I see almost everything as a centralized coin.
I think that's a fair statement.
Right.
It's a fair
So-
statement. Yeah, for sure.
So, and you're trying to, feed the world, and through charities, and obviously, like by
Not
the
just
looks of it,
charities, by the way, it's schools, it's a lot of things. But
well,
charities are some of them.
like I'm an independent content creator, and I've done fairly well in this space, and I don't have the capital
Sick brag, bro.
and I don't have the capital to sponsor conferences, but the pink coin team apparently
Okay.
does. So, okay, so
We got given a demo booth, by the way.
No?
They like what we're doing, so we got given a demo booth. We didn't have to pay to. We
Right.
just had to bring our tickets or buy our tickets here and come
Okay.
and show up.
So I don't understand how this initiative is any different than the Central Bank of Zimbabwe that is also trying to feed their people by printing money.
I don't know. That question is rather, I guess, guided, and I don't know that I'm going to have an answer to satisfy you. But I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree on your line of questioning.
I think the fundamental difference here is there value in utilizing pink coin as sort of a value transfer? You think it does, he doesn't, and it's obviously centralized right now. You have a path to getting to decentralization. Fine.
But when you're saying centralized, it's more centralization of development. It's not centralization of the coins, which I think that people infer when you say centralization that, oh, somebody owns all these coins and they're going to either lift the market up or crash it down when they want to exit. And that's just not.
Yeah.
So decentralization of the distribution of coins.
Decentralized distribution, centralized development and decision making.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
It's a very fair assumption.
All right, I think that's fine. I think you guys have made your points clear. I'm not sure if anybody changed their mind, but thank you for being on, Danny. We really enjoyed it. Anyway, let's.
All right. Well, we'll finish. We'll probably pick this up in maybe 6 months. We'll see where your project is.
Exactly.
All right.
Appreciate the time.
All right, guys. We're gonna take a little break. We're gonna go ahead and cut this stream, and then we'll see how we're doing on time. I know I gotta at least check with the equipment guys, make sure my presentation is up.
Oh, we could keep going
and,
on this one while you're out. You want to do that?
Yeah, no, let's start a new one in about 15 minutes.
Okay.
We'll cut this. Yeah, we'll give you guys a little break. We'll cut this. We'll start a new stream in about 15 minutes or so, and we'll see. I may have to step away, and it'll be these guys for a minute. All right. We'll catch you all in a few.
Thanks, guys. See ya.